Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your host, the incomparable Voice of Doom. Thanks, everybody. Glad to be back. It's been about 24 hours since I did a diatribe, so I know you missed me. Had one snafu in my presentation, since I'm pretty much doing every video and posting it or publishing it as I make them, unless I say something that I shouldn't post, and then I don't do it. But looking at all my videos, because I like to look at myself, like I told you before, I'm just into it. And I'm like, where's that part where I was talking about such and such? And it's really interesting, and I thought it was good, and it's like, oh, I forgot to post it. So part of the 2020 saga is out of order. The last one I did was concerning little subtle things you probably don't think about when somebody's dying, and you might do something that would be very insensitive. And so I found it, I posted it, I like it, I think I said some good things. But since I kind of had to backtrack back to 2020, I'm just going to continue from there into the aftermath, because then I can just finish this whole saga and go back to my ranting. And another goal is to give the news 2 or 3 days without watching it, because usually it's very impactful. After I don't watch the news for, half a week, it's like I turn it on and all of a sudden all hell's breaking loose, worse than before. And it was pretty bad before. So then I always have more fodder to rant, rave, and complain and diatribe and basically just bitch about. With righteous bitching. The aftermath. Well, 2021 was, New Year's. I don't think I remember really celebrating it. I think I was at the Nugget, my work, just helping out. It wasn't a busy New Year's Eve at all. I haven't seen a busy day in any of the businesses in the Carson City area, or even Reno for that matter, since the clampdown. And I think that might be part of the plan. But it doesn't do any good for people to build hotels, spa, whatever, resort hotels, assuming that they're going to be booked solid most of the time, and then they're suddenly cut off at the knees with no recourse. I mean, I thought, well, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits, but I think the courtrooms are still closed, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're even litigating anything right now, because I think it's all part of this master plan. The conflagration is coming, but let's talk about the aftermath. I got to kind of just continue it, because that's the strangeness, is when you have someone you love, and we all love, and she's motionless in the bed, and she stays there for a few hours, and you kind of check and just kind of muse and look and talk and just, it's a very strange dynamic, because the power, even when she was so feeble she couldn't even, get up or, adjust herself in bed to get comfortable, she still wielded the power. Just the way it was. I don't care how feeble she was, as long as she was still breathing, she wielded the power. And when the last breath of life was gone, and it was gone for quite a few hours, we realized, when, we're on our own, and not only on our own, but we all know that it's going to be easier down the line, much easier. We don't have to listen to ranting and raving and getting all uptight over every minute little detail, lose a few dollars or, make a mistake and it's all hell. I mean, my kids never even, I think my kid was 10 and he came up and he goes, "What's this?" And I go, "It's blood." It's like he'd never cut himself. He never gotten a scrape because she made it that would be unacceptable. So, he didn't even know what his own blood looked like. So we're talking pretty extreme. And then we knew we were on our own and we knew that we could do what we want because we're all adults and we all have a job and we all have income. And I didn't really register what freedom would be like because I was just kind of whatever they call it. You come out of the sea or whatever. Can't remember the word for it now, but it'll come to me sometime before the end of this. Decompressing. See how fast it comes when you don't think? That's why this show's so great, because I don't think, and I'm brilliant. It's just amazing. But I want to go on. You call your close friends that have always been behind you to let them know, and then you call the funeral place, the cremation place. And she would have been pissed if we spent more money than we had to, because we come from a kind of a philosophy that once the body is devoid of whatever you want to call it, the spirit, soul, or the essence of your being that's indescribable, then that's, let's not make a big deal out of it. No big coffins to bury. You bury a coffin, you spend $10,000 on a coffin and bury it. That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of why the world and people are so stupid, is they will spend all that money to honor their loved one. And I would think it would be more honorable to take the money and help other people that are alive than buy a big, huge box and bury it. But that's just me. It's just the planet isn't for me. I won't be coming back. But yeah, do it simple. They come and we're kind of like, what do we do? Do we have some sort of a ceremony, or so we just watch them wrap her up and put her on the gurney, and they were solemn and they were respectful, and they rolled her out the door. I'd already set up the stairs for that very reason, to make sure that they could come up and down the stairs without having to make sharp turns through the door. So I thought ahead about that because I just knew that day would come. But it was very timely because I think up to about the day before it all happened, I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this much longer. I can keep going like I'm going, but she's going to get worse and worse every single day, which means I'll have to be more responsible for her basic functions because she won't be able to even walk to the bathroom. So I'm thinking the worse she gets, the more I don't know if I can handle it because it's too much everything. And I could do something wrong. I could snap her arm, and then once that starts happening, you really are going to give up on any kind of hope. It's like a car that you're fixing and other parts fall off while you're fixing it. It's hopeless. And I think this 2021 is going to be 5 or 6 episodes. I can tell by the rate I'm going because it's still 2020 and we haven't even gotten her out the door. And she's rolled to the car. It's not even a hearse. It's just a car that can fit, like a hatchback almost, fit someone 6 feet or something. And they put her in the back and we just stand there and watch the car drive away slowly, which they didn't speed off, like, let's get to the next one. They were very solemn and respectful, and me and Ben stood outside and watched them drive away, and Max was kind of probably in a state of shock. because they were actually the closest, even though they didn't like each other. And I think he started to realize a lot of things about how I mean, he never appreciated her more until after she was gone. Never. And that's just a fact. But the reality of it is, it's final in the sense that I can actually think I can just be free. I can do whatever I want. And it's final. It's not like something's going to happen. There's going to be a miracle. There's going to be, something else that stymies me. And I spent the first few hours or days kind of decompressing. Just like I don't really want to do much of anything except you end up doing stuff anyway because you call people and you make arrangements. And I don't even know if we went to the cremation place the day they took her away. I think they let us just kind of hang out at her home and made it arrange something for the next week. So, but you end up having to do all those kind of things, and you end up having back in the bureaucracy again. You think it's going to be simple after it's over. No, that is a pipe dream. And I had a lot of pipe loads because I was doing a lot of bureaucracy, and I was free, and I could do what I want. I could do it. I could blow the smoke out in the living room, and nobody would say boo. So it was something different. I guess over the next few days, I mean, you're going to keep up the pace of doing stuff all the time. And I'll get into that maybe on the next one because it's funny. I can just talk for like 15 minutes on something that's not even that interesting. But the point is decompressing is like I can play music loud. I can bring my computer or whatever I have out to the living room and start playing old songs from the 80s. And you can't just play it like background music. You got to blast it, and that's what we did back in the day. And I look at my kids, and it's like, how do you play music loud in this day and age? And it's like, well, you get something hooked up to your computer, and then it's got the speakers, or actually it's better with the phone because then you can hook up the amp to and it's like, well, I can't even use my laptop. I can't even find a boombox in the used places in the thrift stores. So it's like, I guess that's right out. But I like turning it up sometimes, and especially the old stuff I used to listen to and brings back good memories. Strangest songs will make me, kind of cry because it brings back memories of when we played the song as a band, and it was my heyday, and it was great. So I'm blasting music, and we're thinking it's time to get the place straightened up once and for all, because now it won't look like we're jettisoning all her stuff, because she's over somewhere else. And I hope that they were right. I'm assuming that she passed away. You can always be paranoid, like, what if she's still alive? But we assumed that everything was because we saw it coming, and it did come. So now it's time to really get into her closet and her stuff and her personal effects. And that is enlightening because you find out that you didn't know the person as well as you thought you did, even if you've been with them for 25 years. And you might have known it, you might have had an inkling, but you don't know how much like it could have been better if people had just been honest. And I don't mean like she had dark secrets. I just mean, I'll tell you about it. I went through her closets. I went through her files. I went through all of her stuff, every single thing, because I had to. Because you don't know what you're going to stumble across. You're going to stumble across stocks, or you're going to stumble across pictures or something that you haven't seen in 15 years. So you go through everything, and besides, we have to because we have to move toward a bachelor pad and make the room like kind of a prep room and stuff for storing. But the next one will be about that. It's going to be a few episodes to talk about the whole thing because some interesting things happened that made 2020 look kind of dull, other than dying. So that's it. I'm going too long. I'll do another one. I'll get back into some other subjects too. It should be very interesting. A lot of life lessons, a lot of stuff you can learn. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the night.